Good evening, and welcome to another edition of the HGP Sport. I am Stanford Howard. Thanks for joining us. We begin by telling you that indisciplined performance with the ball and steady drop catches caused the West Indies the first one-day international despite a six-filled 135 by Christopher Gale. Jaden Samuels reports.
A superb display of power batting by Christopher Gale in his 135 and a textbook 64 from Shai Hope along with a fiery 40 from Darren Bravo were all in vain as the Caribbean side, as on so many occasions, were let down by their bowlers and a string of drop catches. A much-deserved win for England after the English bowlers managed to restrict what was going to be a mammoth target to just 360, still a winning total, but steady drop catches and short bowling handed England their first win in the 5-match series. Jason Roy led from the front. He made 123 and was well supported by Joe Root, 102, while Captain Ian Morgan chipped in with 65 to ensure England go one-up in the series. Bowling for the Windies, nothing exciting to talk about. All were expensive except Captain Jason Holder. He took 2 wickets in his 9.4 overs for 63 runs. England winning by 6 wickets. The next match will be played on Friday, March 22. Jaden Samuels, HGP Sport.
More cricket news. The Guyana Jaguars squad remains unchanged as they look to solidify their top spot in the 8th round against Jamaican Scorpions and capture their 5th consecutive regional 4-day title. Hear more in this report. The Guyana Jaguars face off with the Jamaican Scorpions on Thursday at Sabina Park in Jamaica. Table toppers the Guyana Jaguars, who defeated the Scorpions in the 7th round at Providence, will be looking to clinch their 5th consecutive Windies champion title. Jaguars, who are top of the leaderboard with 112.4 points after playing 7 matches, along with Volcanoes, who are in 3rd with 75 points after playing 7 games also. Hurricanes are in 2nd place on 83.32 points, and sitting at the bottom of the table with 6 games as well is Trinidad and Tobago Red Force on 58.8 points. The full squad reads: Tanjanarang Chandrapal Hemraj, Raymond Reefer, Leon Johnson, Vishal Singh, Anthony Bramble, Christopher Barnwell, Romario Shepherd, Vasami Parmal, Godish Moti, Keno Joseph, and Sheffron Rutherford. For the HGP Sport, I am Stanford Howard. We switch our attention to football. Tiger Bay shone bright like a diamond on Tuesday night at the National Gymnasium as they continue to turn heads in the round of 16 matches in the Magnum Mash Cup futsal competition. Samuel Gillis reports.
Tiger Bay came out with vigor against showstoppers and stopped their show in the 2nd minute of the game. While players were now beginning to sweat, Dion Alfred was up and about. He is captain and led the Bay Boys by example. He scored 3 goals of the 6 goals scored by his team. After the 2nd minute, he revisited the nets in the 18th and 23rd minutes of the game. He credited team spirit for their victory, along with much dedication and practice at nights by Matthias and days on the seawall.
What's going through my mind just to keep the momentum going and keep the team spirit more, because without the team, without the talking, communicating between one another, you can't win, because it's a team. Without a team, without everybody working together, you can't win the game.
He was backed up by Alpha Fletchman, who carried 2 goals, and Keeman Gravesandi with 1. Here are some highlights of the game. The other game with the most goals was Game 3, Sophia versus Broad Street. Sophia came out with swag, and if there was a team to be rewarded for best uniform players, the 21st minute. According to Shem, they were aiming for a clean sweep, but happy to win anyhow.
Well, during training session, we just want to get from behind. We play from behind the ball. When we win it, quick counter-attack and get how much goal we could get. Throw away the easy opportunity there. Well, at least we gave up 1 goal tonight, which we're looking for a clean sheet. So And we go back to now, we try and correct the mistakes so that we go come out in the next game clean sheet.
Ben Street got 1 and tied with Stabrook Ballers 1. The game came down to penalty kicks. Ben Street won 3-2 on this exciting session, and Sabakal keeps doing just enough to stay in the game. They scored 1 against Buxton Diamonds 0. Goal is money. Then scored 3 goals in the very competitive match against Melanie, who scored 1. North Rumvelt got no goal in their game with Back Circle, who got 2. Then Leopold Street went 0 against Future Stars, who scored 1. Northeast La Penitence was weighed in the balance and found wanted by Sparta Boss, who spurted 3 goals against Northeast La Penitence 1. For Hgp Sportscast, I am Samuel Gillis.
The Guyana Amateur Boxing Association and the Guyana Olympic Association have teamed up to ensure Guyana's qualification for the Pan American Games set for July this year. The two associations have obtained the service of Cuban coach Ronaldo Francisco for this all-important assignment. Jaden Samuels reports.
Tasked with the responsibility of ensuring Guyana's qualification for the games set for Lima, Peru in July, Roldan Francisco, after having a successful stint with our amateur boxers and already knowledgeable of the boxers here, got to work as early as Wednesday. Speaking at a press conference on Wednesday, the Cuban coach promised to put his best into ensuring Guyana qualifies for the Pan American Games, and if they do, he will remain put to ensure Guyana qualifies for the Olympics to be held in Tokyo, Japan in 2020.
So I promised here to inform them that I will work very hard to try to give my level best with the boxers.
As it relates to accommodation and compensation for this assignment, it will be well taken care of by the Guyana Olympic Association. Also speaking at the conference was President of the Guyana Olympic Association, K. Jumaniasin, who charged the young boxers to put their best foot forward and to capitalize on the efforts being made by the two associations.
I also wish to make a plea to the boxers, because we are putting things for them. It is for them now to make that sacrifice, to ensure they do what they have to do so that they can benefit from the training Mr. Roldan will give to them. To win an Olympic medal is not easy. It don't come by fluke. Sometimes, maybe, but you have to work hard. And it's stated that from the experts, you have to at least be participating for 10,000 hours of actually being coached and practicing before you win an Olympic medal. When we look at our Guyanese who go to the Olympics, you will see how woefully short we are on actually getting that 10,000 hours. So my plea is to the boxers to put in as much as they can. My plea also is to the National Sports Commission and the government to come on board and ensure that the boxers have all that they may require. The Olympic Association may not be able to give everything, but part of this exercise, apart from bringing Mr. Roldan, we're also, on his recommendations, also will be supplying some equipment so that they could utilize.
Yassin also called on the business community and the government to assist financially, not only to boxing, but to the other association to help athletes qualify for the games. Jaden Samuels, Hgp Sport.
Still in boxing news, after claiming the interim super middleweight title against Derek Take-It to the Bank Webster, Lennox 2 Sharp Allen will be home on Thursday. Jaden Samuels reports.
After a magnificent 10 bouts that handed him the WBA title, the Guyanese champion will be home on Thursday on an early Caribbean airline flight set to touch down at 7 hours 30. The champion will make his way to Georgetown via a motorcade which proceed to his place of birth, West Front Road, then to the Stabroek Market Square, where the champion will interact with fans. After the interaction around the Market Square, the motorcade will proceed to the mayor's residence at 11 hours. Jaden Samuels, Hgp Sport.
Athletics news. The Running Brave Athletics Club will hold its award ceremony at the Humanayana on March 2nd. Speaking with Hgp Sport on Wednesday, committee member track queen Alicia Fortune said the red carpet will feature a well-put-together and entertaining program. Meanwhile, the second Carifta Games trials will be held at the synthetic track Lenora at the weekend. And finally, Nairani Ramdani take Alberta, Canada by storm after copping gold in the men's single at the 2018-2019 ACAC Provincial Championship. Hear more in this report.
Ghana's top-ranked male badminton player, Nairani Ramdani, made history for the King's Eagles University badminton team when he won the gold medal in the men's single at the 2018-2019 ACAC Provincial Championship, which was played off at the Concordia University in Edmonton, Alberta. Being now the champion and #1 ranked singles player, he will now represent the province of Alberta at the National Championship in Nova Scotia in March. Nairani seeded #2, won in a 10-3 setter against Nicholas Pittman of Concordia, with Nairani losing the first game at 16-21 and came back in the last two games 21-17, 21-17 to win the match and take gold. For the Hgp Sport, I am Stanford Howard.
And that's all we have for this edition of the Hgp Sportscast. But do remember, persistence can change failure into extraordinary achievement. Back to you, Javon.